Welcome to the Massachusetts Multicultural Film Festival and our season finale, Lucky Chan-sil, directed by Kim Cho-hee. I'm Daniel Pope, the director of the 28th season of the MMFF, with the theme of alliances. This season, the festival has included documentary, fiction film, and new media works from around the world, each engaging in different ways with themes of division and isolation, and the promise and power of seeking alliances. And the festival culminates with Kim's exquisite film, Lucky Chan-sil. I'm very pleased to welcome now Irhe Sohn, who will introduce the film and will moderate the live conversation and Q&A with the director, Kim Cho-hee, on Wednesday, April 7th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Irhe Sohn is a historian of Korean film and media, and as an assistant professor at Smith College, he teaches courses on Korean language and literature, specializing in film and media. His research revolves around the problem of marginality in Korean film history. Professor Sohn is writing a book about Korean cinema under Japanese colonial rule, particularly through the notion of failure. And currently, he is examining the history of subtitles in Korean cinema and media. Professor Sohn, welcome.
Thank you very much, Daniel. It's my pleasure to be here to introduce Kim Cho-hee's film, Lucky Chan-sil. The film, Lucky Chan-sil, tells the story of a woman in her 40s, a former film producer who loses her career all of a sudden. And it's an authentic, sincere, and resounding film with a strange sense of humor and engaging moments. This film is actually the first feature film by the director Kim Cho-hee. She herself has also worked for a very long time as a film producer, like the film's heroine Chan-sil. And it's not hard to see how the film has lots of elements that the director has brought from her own experience of crisis after quitting the producer job. But the film tells much more than that, more than what resembles the director's own life. The story begins with the bad luck of her life, with the death of a film director who Chan-sil has worked with for her entire filmmaking career so far. Chan-sil, a faithful and hardworking film producer, however, has no experience of working with other directors than the dead one. So with the loss of her collaborator, the sole collaborator, now she feels like she has lost everything. In other words, the film begins by taking Chan-sil down to the lowest place of her life. Ironically, however, at that very lowest place, she gains the moment for reflecting upon another half of her life that comes along. When the movie starts with solemn music, we see the death of the director in a narrow screen, and then after this short introduction, the screen gets wider, just as through the story, Chan-sil gradually comes out of her own box and sees things that she couldn't see so far. And her self-searching journey is accompanied by good people. More good people walk into her life who help her truly understand herself, what she wants to believe, what she wants to do, and what she wants to see. In the end, this unfortunate beginning of the story brings to Chan-sil a new challenge, a new emotion that she has forgotten for years. At the age of 40, when it feels too late to start anything anew, Chan-sil discovers purpose of her life she didn't know she has had all the way, and learns how to cherish people who have always stayed with her, how to forge new relationships and connections, and how to build her own way to live together with people who she loves and who loves her. In this story, there's no truly evil person. Chan-sil is really lucky to be surrounded by those good people. So the film's portrayal of her relationships looks like a materialization of a wishful thinking, then an immersion into a somber reality. In that regard, the film Lucky Chan-sil is a fairy tale for people who no longer believe fairy tales are made for themselves. This fairy tale-like film provides us with a wisdom about human connections and alliances, despite the disconnectedness that we feel now during the pandemic. Unfortunately, however, the film Lucky Chan-sil was not a very lucky film because when the film was first released in South Korea last year in early March, the pandemic has also started. So people felt reluctant to go to the movies. Even worse, many theaters were closing down their businesses. And as expected, the film theatrical release wasn't really successful in terms of ticket sales. Despite the seeming failure, however, I still see the power of alliance, not only within the film text itself, but also in the ways the viewers, especially female viewers in South Korea, engage with this film made by a woman director. With the renewed awareness recently to feminism in South Korea, Korean female audiences felt the need to support the films made by women that didn't get deserving spotlight so far. But as an individual viewer, I mean, sometimes it's hard to watch all the movies released just because they are made by women, right? And it can be because you're too busy, or because you cannot watch some genre films like horror film, or because you heard that the film includes some graphic representation of violence you don't want to watch on big screens, or simply because you cannot go to the movies, I mean, under pandemics, right? So in that case, South Korean viewers decided to send their soul to the theater by purchasing the ticket while not actually attending the screening. This practice, called soul sending for women directors' film, has become part of the popular movement in South Korea, showing alliances between women filmmakers and women viewers. And of course, the film was supported by some number of audiences who dared to go to the movies to watch this film on a big screen. With such an avid support, the film was re-released last November in South Korea once again. This year's Massachusetts Multicultural Film Festival's theme alliance can be found both in and out of this film, and I hope you will enjoy such an alliance in watching this movie and sharing the emotion. And now, please enjoy Kim Cho-hee's 2019 film, Lucky Chan-sil.
Thank you, Professor Sohn, for this compelling and informative introduction to Lucky Chan-sil. I invite our audience to visit the MMF website at umass.edu/film/MMFF for more information and to see our list of our sponsors. And be sure to join us again for our live conversation and Q&A with the director Kim Cho-hee on Wednesday, April 7th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, moderated by Professor Irhe Sohn. Now, enjoy Lucky Chan-sil.